What's going on, Soul Chopper Life community? Before I go any further, let me do one thing because my timer went off. And I forgot I had a timer. I set my timer for something else. But here we go. Just do this one thing. Okay. Peace and blessings to that. Blessings to that. And then another beautiful, great thing here. All right, so that's for good, great, still sounding. So, welcome. Thank you so much for continuing to tune into these beautiful, great YouTube platforms, the YouTube platform. And I want to give thanks, major thanks to my ancestors, man, for being part of this beautiful, great connection, continuing ever everlasting chi life flow. So I just want to welcome my ancestors up front. I want to welcome my other ancestors in this connection, my healer ancestors in this connection, my research ancestors connection, researchers. And even to the enlightenment of my ancestors, and even respectfulness to the celestial and the diplomatic, and also my dark ancestors in general. So it's a movement that is very important, and I'm just looking at my notes here, but something definitely a movement of. Just want to give thanks for this brief application, which is actually abbreviated, and it goes into the expression of, I really don't want to speak about the abbreviation because I want to get it certified with a stamp. So if I'm hesitant not to actually speak the specific movement about the matter, because I don't want somebody else to take it respectfully, and then it can go into something, I don't know, it can just turn to whatever. But at the same time, it is, I would just say, just give it a description, it is involving the beautiful format of, in the awareness of applications of us indigenous tribes, melanated indigenous tribes, black people, basically, the awareness of simply continue to apply applications for our inner healing. And it's movements where it'll be involvement of like winning clothes, supporting our clothing material, the awareness of the motion of that, our soul's emotion of that, and then properly it also be respectfully, applications, seminar videos, Satnam videos, some may take these videos as motivational or whatever. I'm gonna be upfront. I don't really focus on the term motivation. I'm just tuned to be spirit. I'm tuned to be respectfully in balance, to be inner spirited with the alignment, the proper alignment, even prophetically speaking, and divine alignment, speaking, and all the goodness about life, about that. So I'll just, I don't really be out. I don't go out like in the public. I don't be involved in too much outside of the community because for me personally, I'm really just tuning in respectfully into my healing. That's just important to me. That's a priority to me, alongside with being respectfully a dad, and as much as best as possible to do the best as possible, even as I'm in a co-parent position, still be as best as possible, still be supportive to my my 5-year-old daughter. I don't put her on social media like that because respectfully, she has her own personal life, and that's something that is really sacred to me. So I honestly, 9 out of 10, I really won't be probably showing too many pictures and stuff with her picture and stuff like that, because asking the ancestors to continue to guide me about the sensitivity, the application about that, especially when you have children. It's a very high sensitive alert when you have children, and that's respectful for any tribe. You know what I'm saying? That's even outside of the melanated indigenous tribes. That's even to other tribes. They have children too. So man sees too. So respectfully, I'm sure everybody on the overall global universal scale is sensitive about their children. Respectfully, so. I was just looking at this. I'm a video gamer, but I don't play much video games. That's funny to say. I'm a video gamer. I don't play much video games. I just like the storyline, how video games turn out to be. And what happened, what amazed me was, funny to say, I watched this video game a while back ago, which was Mortal Kombat. Now, a lot of us is old school. We know about Mortal Kombat, old school tip about Mortal Kombat. And till 2020, it is still popping. It is still popular, to my surprise. But what I just witnessed on the next one of the, it's called Mortal Kombat Aftermath. I think it was another alternate ending to the previous Mortal Kombat ending that I saw a part of that game. And what was revealed to me is the simple fact of the term alternative endings, very alternate, and also the solution, the resolution, the solution to the alternate ending. So let's break down the word resolution, which is repeat, and then you got solution. So you got souls in motion. So repeat, souls in motion. And for us try, since this is kind of like the biggest, I'm not gonna say 5 or 20 years from now we gonna have another open slot window like this, but right now in the present realm, in the present moment, in this present dimension, I don't focus on going to the next 5, 20 years dimension. You know, in spirit, in truth, I could respectfully go to the next dimensions, next realities, but respectfully, there are guidelines about the sensitivity about going into other dimensions, going to other timelines. Now, since video game respectfully is a open channel for such opportunities to explore and to use creativity and use imagination, the thin line across is easily to snap. Easy. It's like, for example, the movie recently, a while back ago, The Avengers, which was the last part of the Avengers game, the movie Endgame. So it's easy to, you know, like Thanos snap, and then you can cross them. You can cross that thin line, that guideline, and then you can do some stuff. You can respectfully do some stuff into the in the present, in this present realm. You can do something to activate it, initiate it. But you can use that initiation and them codes specifically to alternate another timeline, alternate another reality. It's just like when you get visions, you get dreams, and all of something. It may be something about a present condition, and then it may be going for 5 or 20 years from now, or maybe a couple of years from, maybe 2 or 3 years from now, you get a revelation or something, a resolution or something, and you're literally in that timeline. And I'm using time sensitivity to speak because according to this dimension, we live in time. We live with a time frame. But outside of this dimension, time is not something that's like promoted. Everything, in the sense to say, is either going forward as initiation, or is stopping, is pausing for a moment. But motion, honestly, tell you true, respectfully, is actually active. So motion is active, but at the same expression, motion can slow down. Respectfully, motion can slow down. So going back within the melanated tribe, us the indigenous tribe, this is I can say a restart, but I won't promote the word new because I'm sensitive even speaking that term word new. I'm very sensitive about that word new. So this is like a restart for us, like the ancestors, respectfully. And then people say, well, how does the ancestors come into the motion of all of this? Well, respectfully, the ancestors, just like you use the term, the expression, the phrase, you like when people say, I pray, I acknowledge angels, I acknowledge celestial beings, celestial existences of life. So all of these existences of life who at a high point in life, if you want to top success, then respectfully, you can look at the term, the word we use, rephrase, we're used to speaking in our dialect and our tongue and our mouths, is the word angels. So they're at a high successfulness of life, respectfully say. And anything really outside of this dimension, to be honest, is really at a high successful point. It doesn't matter respectfully what realm they abide in. If they're not presently in this condensed dimension, respectfully, then by all means, they're at a successful point. Now, the key to the nature of the term of the matter is, since we respectfully have a destined, in a sense to say, I don't even speak the word destiny, even out there like new too, but since we have a position, I'm gonna use the word position, since we have a position in the next 5 and 20 and 30 and 100 and whatever many years that goes on about life, since we have a position unto all the melanated indigenous, you know what I'm saying, tribes, since we have a position, we have a opportunity and a resolution, a solution, our souls in motion here. We have an opportunity to maximize our healing into such a positive and such a wonderful standpoint that it becomes so powerful that it triple affects like literally the planets, whatever planet. Now I don't promote all these other planets out there. I don't promote Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter. I don't really promote them planets because all I can see, all I have seen so far is the sun and the moon. That's what I have seen so far, and I have seen the constellations in the heavens, in the skies, the firmament. But I have not witnessed other planets. And it's not to dismiss and not to speak insensitively that these other existences of the existence of life, their existence form doesn't exist. I'm not saying it don't, but I have not first experienced. I have not personally been on to them other planets. So even if NASA is painting a picture in front of me and putting it on TV, television, tell me a vision, a program, and saying we're programming you, whatever the case may be, whatever the intent may be, the motive may be. If we're, I respectfully have not been to them planets, so I cannot. I mean, study information, respectfully study information about, okay, these certain planets have certain traits, and these certain traits relate to our makeup form, our made up form of our existence. That's the real word right there. Makeup is actually an expression saying made up. So, in a made up connection with our existences, if there are some traits that, yeah, if we read a book, a literature textbook, we can say we relate because these things relate to us. It's common to us, or some sort of connection to us, or some sort of revealing to us, whatever the case may be. So when it comes down to the continuing furtherance of our healing, and this is the reality, and I really want to say, and this is sensitive to speak, and I'm aware of what I'm speaking. I'm aware of what I'm present at with what's being said. I'm aware of understanding what's being said. Going for the next 5 or 10 years, well, first of all, let's pause right here. There's gonna be another breed of human. I mean, you gotta understand, like, really there is. We're the same mankind that's in 2020. 5 or 10 years from later on now, it's not gonna be the same mankind. In the made up form, the DNA, all these things may be familiar in the recipe of creation. But respectfully going forward, as an indigenous melanated tribe, we're going to be advancing, as like the term civilization. Now, truth be told, and the truth and understanding of our creation, our genetic genes have been surviving throughout decades and eras and eons and whatever they want to count lifespan. We have been existing for a long period of existence. And the next step, the next resolution, the big question asked is what is the next elevating of mankind? What is the next specific genetic gene that is going to survive through these dire times? I mean, we thinking that we seeing something now. Presently speaking, we're present with things now, which is good. But what is going to be the next? And I'm not promoting this to manipulate the DNA, because I'm not about that. I'm not telling you to promote. I'm not promoting you to go do some things out there, knowing that you're gonna be breaking some boundaries. Respectful to say, you're gonna be breaking boundaries, and there comes consequence with breaking them boundaries. So who is ever out there, and even if you are melanated and you're indigenous and you are actually at a profession, in a position, in a field where you have the opportunity to actually be held. Genetics in your possession, be held. The information of genetics in your possession. You have an accountability part where I hope that you don't go out there and start to manipulate DNA. Because there's a consequence with doing things like that. There's a terrible consequence. And I'm talking about wiping out existing consequence. It ain't no, I could just do something like that just for a little, tamp around with it, and then everything's gonna be okay. No. There's a consequence, respectfully, that comes with that tampering around. So, but you respectfully can enhance the DNA, in reference to speak, not saying go out there and start to mess with your blood work, because I'm not promoting that either, sensitive to speak. But respectfully, you can do practical applications like eating healthy, the basic things, eating healthy, exercising, tuning into and investing into your soul. Writing questions down about your origin, questions about understanding your origin. And again, respectfully, that's even connecting back to the ancestors, because again, they at a high state, a high existence point of life, where they can be able to relate that understanding back to your soul, your spirit. So, as we are as we melanated indigenous tribe people are seeing the rebirth of our civilization, the rebirth of the power that lies within us. I'm talking about power, you know, not necessarily. I'm talking about power that make other tribes, that's not respectfully indigenous, make them fear. And I'm not fear promoting like targeting them or disrespecting them in some in the statement of that, but fear in a way like respect, just simply respectfully respect to our existence, respect to the understanding of who we are. In the creation of made up of life, this has been a big, and I was going to say the main point, but this has been a big, I can't even put in words, but a big print, like a signature, like a signet on us. You know, this has been a big print about our existence. Going forward, you know, and that's why inner healing is important. That's why a lot of these other tribes that are respectfully are not melanated, and some people say in creation of life, melanin is in every aspect of creation. But for all of us with a high tonality of melanin in general within our existence, and this is why a lot of other tribes are some sort, to whatever degree a depth of that is within them, some sort are aware of us, aware respectfully of us. They take notice. They observe, as seem to say respectfully that their tribe's supposed to do, maybe supposed to do. And it reminds me of the sensitivity. I know I've been speaking to him a little bit lately. It reminds me of Stan Lee. Stan Lee knew the future. Look at S-Man, for example. Stan Lee knew the future of melanin. Now, don't get me wrong. Stan Lee went diverse with S-Man. Went very diverse with S-Man. But 9 out of 10, Stan Lee, before Stan Lee's physical death, knew in advance what was going to happen with our people. Stan Lee knew this, man. I mean, if we had a conversation with Stan Lee today and you really asked him some serious, heartfelt questions, I'm guaranteed Stan Lee will be revealing some things to people and be like, wow, oh my gosh, this is real. Like, these people are not just regular, you know, whatever the term, the society term, regular people, respectfully. And as I said earlier, I have a daughter. So to me, my daughter's future is so bright that, you know, I'm not seeking to go around and tamper into her future sense, the pattern line of that. But I'm aware of my presence in her pattern. I'm aware of my presence in the reference of her lifeline, her chi, her lifeline. So I'm aware of how I am to respond and how I am to reply and how I am to be aware of what I need to do. Not necessarily just be aware of responsibilities to the best ability within me to be held and to apply properly and healthy and balanced in the depth of my soul, but to be aware respectfully of what I'm going to go forth to do. Because respectfully, truth be told, genetically speaking, a lot of us respectfully melanated into indigenous melanated tribe come from breed lines of kings, priests, queens, chiefs, come from warriors, come from researchers. I mean, we come from a breed lines of so many of these wonderful, beautiful spirits and existences our ancestors are respectfully in their beautiful, grateful, right, blessed, bestowed position they are in the position they've been originally in and created as in, and that's just simply them. But I give thanks for all of their positions, respectfully speak sensitivity to them, 100% in quality and in more in depth and even understanding. This video is not to promote, must I say respectfully, racism, because I'm not about that. but I am gratefully to be happy, 100%, to be happy about the awareness of the power, the existence, understanding of inner moralities, which goes into the word immortality, inner moralities of the understanding of existence of us indigenous melanated people. Our future, at first, a while back, many couple of years maybe before, seemed as if maybe it was dim, seemed as if it was maybe dim, and it seemed like we wasn't going to have some sort of breakthrough, maybe to some, or maybe to not all. But 2020 has given us a clear insight. We're in the month of August. Like I said, this is guys, I forgot that guy's name, Julius Caesar or something like that. His calendar, the American calendar. But again, in different parts of the different countries, in different parts of different lands, different tribes, they don't celebrate respectfully the American calendar. They consider it. They take note of it, but they don't celebrate. They don't probably put it. They don't probably allow it to be involved with the occurrences of experience of life within the structure of how they go by months, or how they go by days and hours and stuff like that, respectfully to different tribes scattered around out there. Sensitive to speak to y'all. But this is the great brief one. Going back to why I mentioned Mortal Kombat, because it's an alternative ending. It's an alternative ending. We have an alternative ending. We have different realities that we are, respectfully, our existences is presently in. We're not, as a melanated indigenous tribal people, we're not just present in this realm, this dimension. This one of the realms that we are presently in. We're present in, our existence is in. But we have other realms, or simply there are other realms that our existences are actually connected to, and in spirit and in truth, as one of the ancient enlightened beings said, which Christ, Yahushua Mashiach Christ, in spirit and truth, we respectfully are in other realms. We have a high connection to other realms. It's just respectfully that respectful existence. As the ancient saying, the principalities, the thrones, the powers, the virtues. Again, as I said earlier, some of our ancestors are celestial, are the term angels, are basically them. They are actually in a position of them. They are of them, and they are able to move in and out and come in and out of these dimensions, aiding and sending, as the term, as is another wise expression goes, sending messages and making sure certain things are into positions. So I say this sensitivity to all the indigenous melanated tribe, as we are healing through the spore that we have been through for so many decades, and things our ancestors respectfully survived through, genetically speaking, breed line speaking, seed speaking, babies birth speaking. Since we have been respectfully survived through so much of the tons of many things out there, we've been able to still be here, presently be here, by much grace, much healthy virtues. We've been here, and through every inner enlightenment connection we've been revealed through, respectfully. So the question is, what are we going to do? What are we going to do as the reestablishment of the ancient civilization kingdoms, of the melanated ancient civilization kingdoms? I'm talking about not things that are necessary unhealthy. I'm not going to promote them. Will be kind of being back and reestablishing, because they already had a previous experience. 9 out of 10, we don't need that experience again. So we done them errors done passed. Well, all them unhealthy connections and unhealthy experiences has passed. But to balance the scale out, to balance the equality out, there has to be a retribution, there has to be a serving of the things that was respectfully unresolved, that was pushed up under the rug, whether that's in figuratively speaking, whether that's meaning that whether that's bodies or whatever the cause, things like that was buried in earth, or things just simply was pushed up on the rug in different structures of different systems that was injustice, did not respectfully get actually handled, did not get like right on the spot dealt with, and them matters are going to be respectfully served, and they're going to be reserved a part of the portion, or maybe all of it, I don't know fully, but a lot of the portion will be served within this time of this year 2020, and then gearing to 2021, we'll see what the after effect of that's going to be, the aftermath, as mentioned to the term subtitle earlier with the Mortal Kombat video game storyline, the video game theme, the aftermath. So there's going to be aftermath of all them things respectfully being served. So I want to inform the related indigenous tribes that are not melanin. I know right now y'all like, man, what do we do? What do we do? Because we're really at a breaking point, respectfully, of not knowing what is going to happen. We know we're at a breaking point, not knowing what's going to happen to our tribes. Respectfully, our tribes. And I share this sensitivity, knowing and again understanding what's being said to you all. If you respectfully right now are doing things just in the present moment, if you are doing things to help melanated tribes, indigenous tribes, us respectful as black people, not to say that it's racist, I'm not promoting that. I'm not speaking in terms, just awareness, the application of that. It's a blessing that you respectfully are doing wonderful things to help us out here through our occurrence of healing, because our indigenous tribes are all respectfully healing, and there may be different ways that we are all healing. Every way of us healing may not necessarily be the same for another tribe. It may be a little bit different, but there may be respectfully some similarities and some common ground, some things that are common that you may see to your natural eye. That may be a culture sense, that may be a birthright sense, an inheritance sense, or that just may be a visual sense, educational sense. So these are respectfully great observations that our ancestors are part of helping, allowing that to be revealed through much of their respect of their helping us, the ones who I refer in terms of ancestors, the ones whom are related to us, and not just only the ones who passed away, say for example, present in 2020, but going way, way, way back to ancient civilization. Those ancestors, respectfully, who are allowing these things to be revealed, respectfully. But this is just the present where the indigenous melanated tribes were being, again, as I said earlier, reestablished, restored properly, and we're healing through the restoration and establishment properly. So it's continue to into the mother tribes, that are not respectfully, again, not melanated, continue to be sensitive within these times. Again, sensitive to speak to y'all, because y'all do have children. Some of y'all do have children, seeds of your own tribe, respectfully. So that will be an interaction that is going to be sensitive, maybe a lot, all the time. If there's a weird feeling that you may sense when you interacting with a melanated tribe, indigenous tribe, it's okay. It's okay if that's a little bit weird feeling there, because things are being addressed, and it's not just being addressed on a small scale, but it's being addressed respectfully on an international scale and a global scale. So, you all continue to support, because going forward, after even throughout 2020 and into 2021, and as I said earlier, into 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, it's going to continue to be evident. But unto us melanated tribes, again, indigenous tribes, black people, we have to be prepared, because there is a war. There is a war that is happening within our tribes. Respect, there's a war happening within our tribes. Our blood is really at a war, because of there are different melanated members who are part of the melanated tribe, indigenous tribe, black people, whatever. I ain't say whatever disrespectful and insensitive, but who are in specific certain positions, and they have done things horrific to the cultivation and to things that respectfully to things that respectfully that should not have been tampered with, should not have been disrespected, and should not have been, um, you know, should have not been taken out of our community, respectfully out of our community. So valuable information, valuable assets, valuable liabilities, um, valuable, things that preserved our tribes, from artifacts, from ancient 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 sites, um, from our identity, even, well, I only promote the word identity because I want you to attach to something, but from our the expression of, respectfully, the expression of ourselves, celebrating ourselves, and even in a family unit, in a household unit, in a village, in a concept of a village, in a tribal, city, community, kingdom, empires, um, villagers, tribes, other melanated indigenous tribe members who are just like us, look just like us, may speak just like us, hairstyle may be like us, but and they're in a certain position, and they have willed, allowed themselves, to do something that's very tremendous and horrific to the community. They have damaged the community more than ever, probably, and they have even damaged the children of the community. Whitney Houston said a long, long time back ago, rest in peace to her soul. She said in the chorus line of the song, she said, "Children are the world." So I'm not a big fan of a lot of organizations, because I got to do my individual personal research on them. I'm not a big fan of them, especially when it does pertain to commercializing melanated indigenous tribal children, black babies, black kids, or toddlers and adults. I'm not a big fan of promoting, I'm not a big fan of that stuff. Because every scene that you see on TV, television, tell me a vision programming, it's always some type of sad description scene, and I'm sure 9 out of 10 as balance. That's not right. That's not proper balance. So there's this respectfully imbalance to that. What I'm saying. But I'm not saying that there are not organizations out there that's not good. I'm not saying that there's not organizations that's out there that are not good. I sense that there are. It's probably like a rare diamond to find one, and to really, 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 really and to partnership up with one. But I'm just looking forward to continue to invest into this understanding. And I just I'm sending this as not a warning. I'm sending this as a sensitive message to those tribes who, within the melanated indigenous tribal community, the black community, and even other tribes that are not melanated, if you know anybody, respectfully, is doing anything with DNA work, blood sample work, taking that, the melanated blood, whatever, and they're cross referencing their breeding, their cloning, they're doing anything of that note. They're even, horrific things could be being done with that application. Please speak up. Please speak up. Please speak up. Please help us as a community to identify these specific people, so we can address them. We can be in accountability speaking, in accountability word speaking. We can address these people. No matter what organization, no matter what platform they have, no matter what position they are in, they have to be respectfully addressed, and they have to be brought to the forefront of the things that are being done horrifically to the community. This is high sensitive word timing, and this is something that need to be addressed, because if they don't be addressed, they're gonna keep doing it. Now the rationality of them the probability of them keep doing what they've been doing is high. It's very high. So that's something that has to be addressed. And this is not really for too many other tribes to get involved with, because it kind of starts first within us, within our tribes. But if you're not, again, respectful part of the melanated tribe, and you know people, whether that's friendship, or you may hear a conversation, or do respectfully address it, I'll be praying or premeditating, asking the answers to properly guide you about how to apply that application so that it can be applied in the soundness and the concrete, and that it would not be mistakenly uncounseled in general. So I thank y'all for this, man, and this is just the reality for our tribe going forward. It is very bright for us, respectfully. We're going to see more of the enhancement of natural elements, respectfully, to us. We do have a war, as I said before. We do have a war, and this war is something that is scientific a little bit, and it's really it's a specific tribe, man, that wants to just like kind of stop certain things, certain things to happen, like blocking the sun now. That's something that's out there in the speech, but that's something that, I mean, when you really reflect on the sun being blocked out, and this is just really, the temperature changes. It gets cold, I believe. I'm sorry, I'm not, so scientific with my terms of words, but there are different respectful changes that happens a lot with the sun being blocked out. But for us melanated indigenous tribes, it's power. It's respectfully power. Look at the term, the expression they call the Son of God. Christ represents the sun. So just imagine when they say they want to block the sun out, they're blocking Christ out. They're blocking the womb. They're blocking the womb man's womb. The womb man's literally get power. So we as melanated indigenous tribe, black people, we have to advocate. We have to intercede. We have to really intercede to say, hey, whoever these beings are out there, we pray that they get stopped. They get stopped. They gotta get stopped. They gotta stop this. It's unhealthy, and it's damaging to the eco structure of life, and it's also damaging to the womb man. A lot of these interactions connect to the feminine energy, and since we are masculine energy, and since we are very powerful, melanated, powerful masculine, energy, black men, our endurance lasts long. I mean, like I said earlier, not saying nothing negative towards any other tribe, just being honest and being respectful and sensitive. But we live long. We live long, man. I mean, long. So respectfully, we have to advocate. We have to intercede. We have to protect the sisters. We just respectfully do, and we have to uplift them. And it's nothing against insensitive, and not to speak insensitive to the other tribal women who are not melanated. It's nothing against you all. It's just respectfully the acknowledgement, the knowing within ourselves, and that understanding that this is what we got to do. One of our duties as melanated, indigenous, tribal, colorful black men is that we have to uplift the black woman. We just have to. This is part of our duty. It's not something that we can sit there and think double twice about. Hopefully not, but respectfully, we have to do that, because they are the epiphany of life, respectfully. But through that womb, they can breed anything else, as vice versa. Somebody else can say towards me, well, if they're feminine energy, they can just do that anyway. And that's not intended true in a sense, but at the same time, in this rightful respect position, that's what we got to do. This strategy, if you step back and look at the strategy of belittling the melanated black woman's feminine energy, her presence, and even her physical made up form, and herself, there has been a strategy from different tribes to exterminate her, respectfully, to exterminate, not to uplift her, not to respect her, but to exterminate her. And that has been a pivotal message. It has been a continuing message, respectfully, from other different tribes who do not celebrate the melanated beautiful black woman in general. That just has been from different other tribes. And some of this is, historically speaking, some of this is tracing back anciently to the ancient ancestors of their specific tribes. So this has been a respectful war to tear down continuing the presence of the naturalness of celebrate, not just only celebrate, like praising her, not celebrating her, not celebrating her in a way where it's belittling her, but but celebrating her in an appreciation way of deep gratitude. And that's what we uh, respectful melanated indigenous tribal black men warriors, that's what we respectfully have to do. And also we just again respectfully need ancient consulship from our ancestors, those who are past this lifeline, this present dimension, and in different dimensions that can aid us, that can help us, that can counsel us, even within our inner healing, and that can help us to how to move forward in a respectful way. So this is what's here, this is what's now, and this is what's present, and this is what's going forward. So the whole reestablishing, recultivation of the melanated tribal community, indigenous melanated tribal community, a part of it is restoring the black woman back to her respectful, rightful position to help her while we do continue to heal. We all are healing, as again, in a general, we all are healing. But continue to apply the application respectfully, and the soundness, and the concrete soundness, and the clearness. And as again I said, I have a 5-year-old daughter, so I have my mother, respectfully, she still exists. Her body still is present in this dimension, her spirit's still here. And I have a daughter, she's beautiful, and I have other sisters, and my daughter mother, no, again, this is me just, my daughter mother is her nationality is Haitian and Dominican. So my daughter has Haitian, Dominican, and my mother's side Native Cherokee, but tracing back to my ancient ancestors from Africa. There's the Buti tribe, Mabuti. Then there is the Kangaroo tribe, so she have that too genetically in her. And then that's, like I say, going back to the ancient blood work, tracing back the blood as much as possible within the blood work. But I'm not a big fan either, man, giving blood out. I was doing that many years ago, back in the day, giving so much blood out for just the perks, food. That time I wasn't probably making much money, so I was hungry, so I gave desperation for food. For clothing, I like the shirts they was offering. It was kind of funny because it was kind of like a commercial. Now, I'm in sales. I do customer service, so I can see the strategy, just reflecting back the strategy. Even though it was, someone say it was kind, it's, the promotion slogan would be, okay, you can help somebody get blood by giving your blood. Giving blood it comes at a high cost, and I'm not gonna promote giving blood. But I don't know. I'm not really gonna promote that. I'm not gonna promote giving blood. I'm not judging you, say you're wrong if you give blood. I'm just, on my side of the show, I'm not promoting to give blood in general. But it's powerful. Respectfully, it's powerful. So thank y'all for allowing me to share the break bread with you. This is a Satnam video, premeditated video about talking about in the topic of our alternative realities. Where we exist in other alternative realities. We are present in every dimension, respectfully. We are present in every dimension, and we are abiding in every other dimension. We're just in a different shift, a different perspective, a different perception. We are presently there. One being may say, well, how, when our body is here, our body physically is present in this realm. That's true, but respectfully, our spirit is connected and present to other dimensions, or other realms of life, in some sort, to say. But if you ever want to donate, you want to contribute, I'm not going to force you. You can respectfully donate, contribute to the Cash App. I'll leave that information down in the name below if you are led to. But let this video be respectfully uplifting, but let it also be encouraging, and let it be inspirited, and let it be educational. Let it be education, a high sense of awareness. And as I said, unto other tribes, if respectfully not melanated, this is nothing against you. Don't take this as me coming at you, pointing my fingers at you. This is respectfully nothing against you. This is nothing against you. This is just the awareness of where we're at, where we as a melanated indigenous people, tribal people are at, whether we're in the USA, whether we're in the UN, or whether we may be respectfully back in our native land. Now, some of us is actually going back to our native land, traveling. I mean, we're literally picking up where we left, where we came from, the present land that was not our native lands, and we're going back to our native lands. So for those tribe members who are actually doing that, I congratulate you. I respectfully congratulate you, because you're going back, and it's not going to be something maybe immediately you understand immediately where you at. That may be respectfully educational connection there for you to go through, but for you to be there, presently there, and then for you to abide there and live there, that's a blessing. I look forward for myself to get to experience something like that, if it's, you know what I'm saying, when that moment comes. But I want to be respectfully, I'm going to be upfront with y'all on this video live, this beautiful, great video. I want to be prepared. This being in advance to say, I want to be prepared. I don't want to get up and go to the native land that my ancestors was not native to, and then I'm not prepared to deal with the conditions of the land. I'm not prepared to deal with the, the day-to-day life in the land. So I want to be prepared. I'm not saying that being in America is the land that's going to prepare me. But I'm praying that in advance with my ancestors' help and connection, that I will have the abilities and the experiences and know what to expect, and not assuming, but knowing what to experience and knowing how to actually go through the experience and be ready to resolve, to apply the resolution and the solution to the experience in a proper, healthy, direct way. But I know I have a 5-year-old daughter here, so it's really a transitional. This is me now, set aside from what was all said before through this video. It really is a transitional state, because I have a 5-year-old daughter. So it would be an honor to move back my daughter, but I know my daughter is 5 and she's getting used to it. And I'm not promoting that she should be all her life in this land, because I know respectfully in America, but I respectfully know that there are some parts within the structure of America, within these lands, remove the branding name America out of it. There's some connections within these lands that can be a blessing to her, and that is, matter of fact, maybe seems some sort of part of the inheritance to her. But I also know that across the seas or wherever else, there's other places that respectfully that is still inheritance to us as a family, even as individual, that we are to experience. And but when that moment come, again, as I said before, praying to be in a healthy meditate state, into meditation application, is to apply the understanding how to go forward with that, and the preparation to go forward with that. So thank y'all. Satnam, man. Satnam, peace and blessings, shalom, salam, all that good stuff. Much health to you, and favor and gratitude and all that good stuff. Thank you for your time. Again, my name is Sak'Chi, Chi Naki, Yeshayahu, Isaiah. And thank you so much, and thank you for your contribution in general. What you see, I always want to promote. What you see is actually my own clothes. I'm not rocking nobody else's stuff. I only got one sample right now of this product, but I'm looking forward to get more so I can start to move it out there, sell it, and just continue to support the movement of the inner healing for the continue to support the universal indigenous tribes healing, diaspora, restoration. And first to start within me, that's priority. So continue to support the universal indigenous tribes healing, diaspora, restoration, and continue to go forward with that. So just letting you know up front, your contribution will be used to invest into the inner healing connections of what needs to be supported, and given back to the community of the indigenous melanated tribal community, so that we can be properly restored, and we can help one another. We got a lot of things we got to deal with internally within our tribes. Some are just respectfully tribal, like just supposed to be dealt with our individual tribes, and some of it is to be dealt with collectively together. So that's just an awareness and addressing that we will all come to more understanding more and more every day about the applications and the solutions, the resolutions of what we should do and stuff, So let's continue to invest into ourselves, respectfully into our inner healing, and also into our tribes, and let's continue to enjoy these connections as we all make videos like this or whatever to support you know, the connections of where we're at as a tribal people and tribal community and tribal village and stuff like that, and villages and kingdoms and lands and nations and cities, communities, stuff like that. But thank you. Sat Nam. Peace and blessings.